Hello. Hello.
Hello, doctor. Hello,
Yeah.
doctor.
Are you able to
Hello,
see
doctor.
this screen?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Okay. In the last class, we have discussed about the sampling. Okay. Different type of the sampling techniques. How we can do the sampling. How to select the samples out of the population. So some basic concepts we have to see, like here. Sampling fundamentals. We have already discussed the population, and you know what is the population and universe, that may be finite or infinite, like that one. So not much time we're going to invest upon this one. Sampling design already we have discussed. Sampling error, we know that there should be error in the sampling. Okay, and how to find out that if any deviation is coming between the sample and the population is due to the error itself or due to the some significant causes or the treatment made to the sample, right? For that we had the hypothesis testing. The next topic we'll discuss is the hypothesis testing. Okay, prior to that, let's say some concept about precision. What do you mean by the precision? Anyone? How do you see the precision? How to define the precision? And let's say there is two terms, precision and accuracy. What is the difference between these two? If you're going to define a range, okay, let's say like in the for the any product, etc., we have the given limits in terms of the, let's say you are going to give the some basic size plus say some tolerance value, 20 plus minus let's say 0.2. So your range will become 19.8 to the 20.2, maybe in the millimeter or the meter, whatever you want to take the units. Okay, if the product you are manufacturing falls within that limit, you say that okay, this is a good product. So if that is falling inside that one, you say that okay, good product, otherwise that is a bad product. Now here we are going to introduce some concept carried from the quality management. Generally the quality is managed at the plus minus 3 sigma value. What is the meaning of that one? Mu plus minus 3 sigma. Can anyone tell me? Generally, when we are going to take the sum of the any distributed data, distribution can be of any type. Okay, we'll see that one later. But when you are going to take the sum of that data, that generally follow the normal distribution. And I suppose that you are gone through the basic course in the mathematics, having the idea of the normal curve. Do anyone know normal curve? Am I audible or not? I'm not hearing any song. Hello?
Hello, doctor.
Yeah. So precision is the repeatability of a particular value, and accuracy is the how away from the target value or the basic value particular measurement is, right? So these are the two terms frequently we encounter in the manufacturing, right? Now coming to the our sampling discussion, there are two terms we are very much interested. One is the confidence level and one is the significance level. As you are taking the sample out of the population, you're not going for the census. That means 100% of the. Are you able to see the slides, the sharing?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure because this is new. Some laptop bought from someone. What is the setting? I am not so acquainted with. Okay. So confidence level and significance level. The confidence level or reliability is the expected percentage of time that actually falls within the stated precision limit. That means if you are saying that 95% confidence level means out of the 100 times, that dimension of the product or parameter or whatever that may be, that it may be age or whatever parameter you're going to select, that should within the given limits, right? 95% out of the 195 times, that should be in the given limit. And there may be chances that if 5 times, that may be out of that. So that is known as the confidence level. If you're going to say 95% confidence means 90 times, that should give the correct result. That should be true. For example, let's say I have given a specification limit for a particular parameter as the 20 plus minus 0.2 millimeter. And if I'm saying that I'm maintaining this process at the 95% confidence level, yeah, or you can say this process is maintained at 95% confidence level means out of the 100 products produced, 95 should fall within that limit of the 18.8 to the 20.2, 20 plus minus 0.2 millimeter. So that is the confidence level you are going to maintain. And variation always happens. You know that variation is a normal thing. Variation happens due to the various causes. Some causes may be the assignable causes. We can assign, we can rectify that one. Once we identify, we can rectify. Like maybe due to the machine, there is some defect in the machine, unskilled manpower, right? So that kind of causes are the assignable causes. But besides that, there are the also causes that is not assignable. You can't identify why the variation is happening there. And that kind of the variation attributed to the variation due to the random regions, right? If you cannot assign or cannot identify why the variation is happening, then you won't be able to rectify it. And to accommodate that variation, because that variation has to be happen, we don't have any idea why that is happening. So we can't remove that one. Okay. So what we do, we provide some tolerances. Why the tolerance is required in any product parameters? Because we are not sure that we can produce the each and every time of the exact targeted size. So you have to give the some variation. The designer is going to give you the some variation, some tolerance to accommodate that variation. Whenever you're going to look upon the any product parameter, etc., they always come in the form of the one basic size plus some tolerance value. And there is a whole concept of how to decide about the tolerances. That depends on the specification limit, that depends upon the your process precision, that depends upon the what kind of the manpower, how you skill. There are so many factors. Okay, we are not going into such a detail. We are discussing here the concept of the confidence level. Okay, so you understand confidence level is that confidently you can say that out of the 100, let's say 95 products should satisfy the given specification. So here confidence level will become the 95%. Okay. Now coming to the significance level. Significance level indicates the likelihood that answer will fall outside the range. That just reverse of the confidence level. Like if the confidence level is the 95%, the significance level will be 100 minus 95, that is the 5%. That means product is not going to satisfy the requirement, or that parameter is not going to satisfy the specification or requirement. So if the confidence level is 99%, you are saying that 99 times the product will fulfill the requirement, or parameter will fulfill the requirements, the significance level will be 1%, and so on. Right? Before we proceed, let's have some discussion about normal distribution. Okay. Are you able to see this slide of the normal distribution? Okay, let us start from here.
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen this curve any times previously? You can unmute your microphone. We should have a participatory discussion. Okay. If there is no disturbance around you.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Here you can see that there is two axes. Okay. In this distribution, you can see there is a two axes. Okay. Okay. On the one axis, one parameter is plotted. Let's say this is the x-axis and here is the y-axis. Okay. Here on the x-axis we have the age in the years, and along the y-axis we have the frequency. So in this figure we have the age distribution of the pediatric population overlaying normal. Now if this range or interval, class interval, you are going to make very small, this will take a shape of this kind of curve. Okay. So normal probability distribution functions are, there are so many probability distribution functions. What the exact population follow or data follow, how the data is distributed. When you're going to draw it in terms of that parameter and its frequency. Along the y-axis we have the frequency. Frequency means how many times that particular data or particular parameter is going to repeat in a given data, right? So here you can see this normally distribution probability distribution function was recognized with that bell shape. Bell shape means a shape of the bell. Okay. You know, no bell. Generally, we use for the some sort of the notification, etc.
Yes.
Okay. So PDF should be viewed almost like the histogram. In histogram, what we do? On the one axis there is the parameter values, and another axis there is a frequency. Okay. And if the class interval may become very small, tends to 0, this will take a shape of the continuous distribution like this one. And this is the probability distribution function for given value of x. Right? What is the frequency of x can be determined from this function, if that is following the normal distribution. So generally for a given normal distribution, we have two parameters, two significant parameters. One is the expected value. Generally we say that mean. Mean controls the location where the particular normal curve is fixed. Like if you mu1, that means this curve is here. Mu2 means here. So that is going to fix the location of the normal curve. Okay. And Second thing is the standard deviation. What is the concept of the standard deviation? Why do we use standard deviation? Anyone? Okay, let me know that. What is the purpose of the determining the mean for any given data? Why should we calculate the mean? What information we can get out or we can have from that one? You know that there are some central tendencies, central value. Let's say, how do you know that the particular country have the young people or the old people or like this? We say that this is the demography of this country is very old or very young. If the mean value of the age of the people in a particular country is low, we can say that this is very young country. A lot of people below the younger age or around the younger age, like that. Some country having the majority of the old people, and that impacted the economic growth and other things in a lot of ways, like working class population, how much you available in a particular country, right? If you have the more young people, that means you have the more people to work. If you have more old people, that means they can't perform the so many jobs. And in that accordance, you have to devise your all the policies, how to develop your economy, your country. So mean give the central value of any data, any population or any sample. And this standard deviation sigma tell about the spread, how spread is there, how much spread. If you see this normal curve, this curve start from the minus infinity and continue to the plus infinity, and total area under this curve we assume to be 1, that is equal to the 100%, right? In middle there should be expected value or the mean value, and this is the sigma standard deviation. There may be 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma. Like this, we can measure the dispersion. How disperse that one? Spread. Now to understand this one, let's say I'm going to wait. Okay. Let's say we have the two population, two data. One is the okay. Let me select this. Why this is not? In previous laptop that was easy for me because that was touch screen too. Right, but in this, okay, let's we have okay. Okay, test, okay. We have the two data. One is the 49 and 51. And another data we have is the 1 and 99. What is the mean of this first data? Can anyone tell me what is the mean value of the first data? 49 and 51. How do we find the mean? Let's say if there is a X, Y, Z, and so on numbers. So mean should be what? Mean should be
Means x plus y plus z over
X plus Y plus Z and plus so on
over 3.
divided by number of data. How many data you have? Let's say we have only, let's say 3 data, X, Y, Z. Okay. So here what we do? We'll divide by
3.
3. That is the mean value. Okay. So can you tell me the mean value of this data, first data, 49 and 51?
48 plus 50.
49 plus 51 divided by 2. That is 50.
50.
Okay. And what is the mean here? 1 and 99.
1 plus 99.
Yeah.
50.
Also
Again
50.
there 50. So if you are going to look upon the only the
50.
mean value,
Yeah.
that cannot give the clear picture. What kind of data you have, how that is distributed. To know the distribution, we require a standard deviation. Deviation is a measure of variance or spread. How spread the data? Here the spread is how much? Or you can say range. Range also represents the spread. Range is how much? 51 minus 49
49.
equal to 2 only. And here how much? In this case, range is 99 minus 1, 98. Are both data is same? No. If you are looking only upon this mean value, then you can say, okay, both data is same, no problem. The mean is same, but it is not so. So we require the standard deviation also. A standard deviation determines or inform about how the data is spread over in the given range, like that one. So here mean for both the data are same, but you can say the range or spread is a lot of it. Here only 2. Here is 98. Okay. So to represent any distribution, we require these 2 things. One is the mean value, another is the standard deviation. And a lot of the application of this concept comes in our manufacturing area, manufacturing field. That you can utilize in the research methodology also. Besides that, well-proven technology or techniques we have in the quality control. That is based upon these concepts. When you're going to calculate the process capability or managing your quality at the Six Sigma level, or the concept of the Six Sigma is also based upon these basic concepts. When you are going to manage the process at mu plus minus 6 sigma, that is known as the Six Sigma quality management system or Six Sigma methodology, right? But you are not free to manage your process as per your desire. There is something given from the designers also, like a specification limit. That means your mu plus minus 6 sigma should be within the given specification limit of the product parameter. Then only your process can be managed. And when this sigma value is more, that means more variation in your process or your data. From where you're going to get any kind of data? From your process is through some process you are manufacturing something, some parameters. If your process is very efficient, deviation should be less, right? If process is not so efficient, not having the highly skilled manpower, there is a lot of variation in the material, then process will deviate more around the mean value. That is not a good sign of the process. So what generally we try to do? We try to manage this one, sigma value, decreasing the sigma spread, make your process more robust, more precision, and give the high quality products. Okay. So coming back. So standard deviation that measures the, let's say here, mu plus minus 1 sigma value we are seeing here. Right? Here you can say the point of inflection changes in the curve gradient, where slopes change, gradient change happens. That is known as the point of inflection. If you have gone through the mathematics classes, you better know that what is the point of inflection is. Okay. So there may be the point of inflection, you can find it at the given plus minus sigma. Here we measure the mu value along the parameter value and sigma value also along the parameter value. Sigma is the standard deviation. There is a well-known formula for that one. You can calculate for any given data. Okay, that's not a big issue. You can easily calculate the mean value and the sigma value, and from that you can determine the area. If that is following the normal curve, the area between the plus minus 1 sigma value should be 65% of the total area. Around that one, 65 or 68, like that, right? So here I mean to introduce the basic concept of this normal distribution. Yeah, are you saying that? For mu plus minus 1 sigma value, total area inside the curve is 68%, plus minus 2 sigma, that is around 95%, and plus minus 3 sigma, 99.7%. This much area of the curve that is going to occur. Generally, we maintain any process quality things at the plus minus 3 sigma, because we want to produce almost 100% product as a quality product. When you're going to manufacture something, your objective is to produce the product that has the quality. So if you are going to produce the product at this limit, if you're going to fix your process at the mu plus minus 1 sigma, that means almost 32% product should be rejected. And that cannot be an objective of any organization. Why to reject? Why to produce such kind of product that should be rejected? So at the plus minus 3 sigma around the mean, almost total area covered is the 99.7%. This is the confidence level you have. This much product will satisfy the requirement, right? So that was the basics we required for this course. Okay, now coming back to so that was the concept of the, and you know that by using the CLT, central limit theorem, we can convert any kind of distribution. Population distribution may be any kind. That may be Poisson's, that may be any kind of binomial, any kind of distribution. That can be converted to the normal distribution. That can be converted to the normal distribution. And once that is converted to normal distribution, the concept of the normal distribution can be applied. So it's better to have the idea of the normal distribution, that can be applied anywhere. It's better that you should go for some sort of the literature related to the central limit theorem and that kind of mathematical concept. If you don't have, I will supply the some books upon this one. One book already I supplied, there's a Montgomery book. Go through that one. Okay, we have the less than 1 minute. We are going to end this class right now. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask. Yeah. We have less than 1 minute. Any question?